What are the biggest mistakes founders can avoid making before forming an LLC?
I think the biggest mistake is not consulting anyone and just reading from Google or listening to a friend who probably doesn't know anything about US taxes, and because the friend is doing the same thing, they also jump on that same train and do the same thing, right? Before you set up an LLC, you need to have a consultation with someone. And I basically suggest that you pay someone, even if it's 15 minutes or 30 minutes, pay to get good information, because when you're paying, the quality of the information is very qualitative than when you're not paying. Because when you're not paying, I don't have to put too much stuff into what I'm telling you. I mean, most of the time in my profession, because I'm a CPA, whether you pay me or not, I'm supposed to give you the correct, answer. But then when the time is up, it's up. We're not talking anymore. But some people take a passive approach when you don't pay them, okay? So they don't do research before coming to the meeting, and it just basically tells you whatever. But when you pay them, now it becomes more serious on what they are telling you. And then also, you get to know, they get to share more information they want to share with you, because you pay them, so they now care for you, right? So I would say when you're setting up an LLC or you're setting up any company, make sure you know the tax implications before setting it up, because I've seen so many cases where people set it up and it either becomes expensive to maintain, or they didn't know the tax deadline and they start getting penalties, or they set it up and then they have a whole bunch of questions and they realize they did the wrong thing. Okay, so when you want to set up an LLC or a corporation or any kind of entity, you need first-hand consultation to figure out if this is the right thing for you. And for most people that are also setting up US LLCs in general, I would say that don't only talk to a US person, a US advisor. Also talk to an advisor in your country. I understand that some foreign advisors are still confused about how this whole thing works. It's when you talk to them, the information is all over the place. But find someone that's very reputable and knows what they're talking about. Because I'll give you an experience. I have a case where I filed 1120 and 5472 for one client in Russia. And then this guy contacted a Russian accountant and got a whole lot of information that was really bad. And then the guy came out, gave me a bad review, said I messed up everything for him because he was supposed to have paid taxes. And I told him he wasn't required to pay taxes and only required to pay 1120 and 5472. So yeah, a whole lot. And he even requested for his refund. And I'm like, no, you're not getting your refund. And we could go to court about this if you have the resources. But anyway, fast forward to a year after that, he came back, apologizing that he got a wrong advice from his country and he doesn't know what to do now. And at that point, you've basically destroyed the relationship you and I have. So there's not much I can help you. So I basically told him, no, it's fine. I'm fine with everything, but you need an accountant, if you don't trust what we do, right? So yeah, you could get into situations like that where the foreign advisor is not giving the correct advisor, and it also complicates things for us here in the US.